Hello, my name is Tim Crofton, and at Just Desserts we are cooking sweet things from every country in the world. I like to cook, I've travelled a lot, so join us as we eat.
Woo! Do you know what? It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere I go. You know, the people that you meet when you're walking down the street. Happy Christmas, everybody. Lovely to see you. We sort of had our Christmas special, but it was so special that we decided that we're going to do another Christmassy number. We are off to Venezuela, and we're going to cook a torta negra. I don't know why I'm speaking like this, but I kind of sound a bit sexy when I'm Spanish. No, hey, no. I'm deluding myself. Oh, and I'm hitting my head on my thingy here. So torta negra from Venezuela. And I'm a tiny bit cheaty here because one of the most important aspects of the torta negra, which is a very traditional Venezuelan Christmas dish, is this divine, nutty, pruny, orangey mix. It's not a million miles away from mincemeat, and the recipe for this, it's a bit cheaty, will provide you with at the end, obviously. But in here, I've got walnuts, almonds, candied orange peel, I've got a bit of brandy, I've got 2/3 of a cup of a dark Mexican beer, like a stout, and some hazelnuts. So not a million miles away from a mincemeat. This I made a week ago, so it's been sitting marinating in those gorgeously boozy ingredients, and is now ready to convert into the torta negra. The actual cake is not going to be that tricky for us, but what we're going to start with is 12 teaspoons of butter, which I am going to mix in with half a teaspoonful of salt, then a cup and 2/3 of sugar. Then I'm going to whip in the eggs, slowly spoon in the flour and baking powder, and then we put this into the mixture. I've gone French now, I don't know why, and we cook it for about 15 minutes. So that's the plan of attack. Are you good to go? Oh, before we go though, hey, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Okay, I'm going over this way. Is this the way? Here's my 2 cups of sugar. And I'm maybe being a bit bold here, and I'm going to cream that. The trick with this is it requires a lot of creaming. Not only the butter, but once that is done, let me see how I do here. No, that's okay. I have left the butter at room temperature, so yeah, it's not being temperamental. Into that, I am going to put the 2/3 of sugar and cream it good. Oh, I'm harkening back to Susie, and whip it good. Susie's a superstar. I'm sorry she's not here, but we are going to get her again, I promise. We're plotting on a tasty dessert to make. You probably can't hear me. I've got to whip this for about 5 minutes, so I'll see you in about 5, alright? Okie dokie. So, we've got a good 5 minutes or so, and the butter and sugar is looking beautifully creamy and frothy. I'm still, just not for much longer, but I'm going to be staying here and adding the 5 eggs we're putting in here. And this too, once I've got the eggs in, I'm going to beat them at high speed Again, to get them nice and fluffy and airy. Okay, so we've been whipping good, and oh, this is such a divine mixture. Just butter, sugar, and 5 eggs. Now, we're very gently, I'm going to put it on low, but we've got a cup and 2/3 of butter that I am going to, not exactly fold in, but I'm not going to overbeat it. It's going in gently and pretty slowly. So, baking powder, just a teaspoon. Give it some puff, help air it up. There we go. Let's mix that in. Once that has integrated, I'm going to take it off here. Okay, I think that'll do. So our last step here is to stir in our mincemeat. Look, please forgive me, I'm referring to it as mincemeat just because that is what we call it in England and in Canada, and I think actually in America too, but I'm sure it has a proper name which I'm afraid I'm not familiar with. But again, it's that lovely boozy mixture of nuts and dried fruit, basically. Okay, let's get this last little bit out of here. So that is all done nicely. That can sit here, and I'm going to get a spatula, I think, for this bit. Here we go, Captain Spatula. Get rid of you, you naughty teaspoon. And here we go. So that is 2 cups I've got there. 2 cups of boozy Christmas happiness for our torta negra. Okay. Once this, I'm just going to fold it together. I'm not going to be overly energetic in my mixing. It's more of a fold than a mix. And oh, look at that. Not, I mean, there's definitely black bits in the mix, but it's not looking overly black now, but I'm sure after some cooking it will look great. So here we go. I have a ready buttered and floured springform pan. I think it's a 9-inch one, maybe 10, and I'm going to put the mixture into the pan. Ooh, boozy yum yum. And that, mesdames et mes petits messieurs, is us. Let's get that. So that is going to go in a preheated oven, preheated at 375, and I'm going to put it in there for 50 minutes. So see you in 50. So we're at time. 50 minutes, 375, and hopefully we have a gorgeous torta negra. Let's have a look. Hopefully it's gone negra. Oh, look at you, you sweet naughtiness. How'd you come? How'd you come? Not bad, eh? Looks tasty. Shaky, shaky. Did I? Okay, there it is. Nice and dark. Very nice, and I'm going to put it on at the bottom here because there you go, there it is. Now I'm going to do a tiny bit of Christmasying. This was an idea from, well, I think, I'm not totally sure, but this is crushed candy cane going around the bottom in a bid to make it Christmassy, and then I got one final little bit. Remember making snowflakes? Maria made this one. Maria, who is sort of our adopted daughter, really. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of icing sugar on top of that. cute. There it is. The decoration you can leave to your own imagination. Maybe not the most beautiful, but I'm sure it'll taste divine. So let's give it a go, shall we? I'm going to get me knifey. Still a bit warm, and you know how we feel about that. Always a good idea to let it completely cool before you eat it. But I will just, for your benefits, eat it whilst it's still a bit warm. There it is. Out you come, naughtiness. Not overly brown inside, or black inside, but let's give it a try. Boozy. Definitely boozy. Orange is divine. The orange is excellent in the mincemeat, which incidentally doesn't involve any meat, the mincemeat. So it's just nuts and fruit. Why it's called mincemeat, I'm not entirely sure. You know, this kind of, it's got a sense of a Christmas cake, but it's actually not quite as heavy. It's lighter. It's got all sorts of divine flavours going on there. This is lovely. And would be a gorgeous Christmas cake. So there we go. That is Venezuela-Torta Negra. We are getting close to the end of this epic journey, ladies and gentlemen. We have Vietnam, the Virgin Islands, Yemen, and Zambia and Zimbabwe. Then we're done. But look, from Erica and me, we sure hope you have a happy Christmas. Thank you for being with us this year, and I will see you in 2021. Toodles.